Two of NewTV's co-op students from Northeastern University, Sophia, Cianca, and Bryce Deardon, are wrapping up their 6-month stint by showcasing their documentary, The International Dream. Welcome to you both. It's so good to have you here, even though it's your last week. But tell us a little bit about this very interesting documentary that you put together.
So we're both college students, and one thing you learn very quickly in college is that college is very hard. And basically, we looked at it as, it's going to be even harder if you're thousands and thousands of miles from your family and your friends and where you grew up, and it's a different language, different culture, all these different things. So we really wanted to look at what these students see in studying the U.S. and studying at Northeastern that to them makes it worth it, and what they're willing to sort of put up with in the process to make that happen, and what they think it's going to open up for them opportunities-wise in the future.
Yeah, and I'm an international student. Mm-hmm. I was born and raised in Italy, so I moved here just for college, but my mom's American, so I didn't have to go through the whole bureaucratic process of getting a visa and doing all that. But I still like to think of myself as an international student because
you're an international student.
Yeah, I don't feel very American, even though I am also American. So it was interesting to look at that point of view and see, because we have a lot of international friends, so it was interesting to hear their stories and see how different it was from mine, and kind of research that and get more into that.
So is that what gave you the idea, was okay, this is my story, I want to hear what other stories are?
Yeah, we have a lot of international friends, and we have friends from South America and Africa and Asia and Europe, and everyone had these really interesting parts of their story that was the same, even though they're from such different places. But then there are obviously going to be differences coming from all those different parts of the world. So that's what really gave us the idea, is looking at all those similarities and differences, and what is sort of fundamental to just studying abroad versus what is more specific and different from region to region.
What was the biggest fear, I guess, from each one of your interviewees?
Biggest fear. Some people, it really depends. Some people, no one really questioned if it was worth it. Everyone really was confident that studying the U.S. was going to be good for their future and everything. It was more, there was some stress about visas and stuff because once you obtain your visa to come and study in the U.S., it's not okay, you're good. There's this constant process of them having to keep things up to date and update addresses and request forms and get signatures for even the most basic of things.
It's even the smallest things, just dropping a class. They can't drop a class if they don't talk to their advisor first, because
they could lose their visa.
Yeah.
It's a lot more complicated than it would seem from the outside, and so a lot of them, it wasn't a constant fear, but it was something that they were very aware of and that they had been taught to be very mindful of.
It must be very stressful for them, not only being in school, but having that pressure of making sure that they're here legally.
Exactly, yeah. That's a huge, that's basically their entire job as an international student, and maintaining their visa status, especially with Northeastern, where everyone does co-ops and internships and stuff like that. They have to go through a huge long process just to be able to work in the United States, and even then, a lot of times there's restrictions on pay and stuff like that. So
especially because we do have an Office of Global Services at school, and talking to the dean, he said that they do help, but it's more important than the student has to keep it up by himself.
At the end of the day,
they need to be the one.
At the end of the day, it's the student's responsibility, obviously. And so there is a lot more for them to know, and just it's a greater mental load, than your average student, of all these things they have to keep track of and be aware of.
So why did you want to tell their stories? Just to get the word out, or is something attracted to you besides being a part of the group, kind of?
But part of it was mostly, I think, just following our curiosity about it. It was something we didn't really know a lot about, and it's also a lot of our friends that are international students have had some increased fears in the past couple of years about if they're going to be able to maintain visa status and different restrictions and stuff. They actually just added a question to the application form that some people are stressed about. Now they want your social media accounts before they approve you. So it's just a really interesting aspect to it that is It's one of those things that's very invisible to people that don't have to deal with it.
Right.
But it's also very universal to all the international students that go to Northeastern. And Northeastern's the third largest collegiate institution in the country, international student population-wise. There's like over 19,000
Wow.
undergraduate international students. So it's a very common thing at Northeastern to have like multiple international students.
What did you guys learn from all of this, just for the documentary itself?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know a lot of this stuff about like visas and all that because I didn't have to personally deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very interesting to look at that because I didn't realize what a hassle it is. What else?
There's a lot of what's really amazing about it is how individual it is. Every country, it's a different process. Every country has different requirements. And at the end of the day, it's just a very instant pass-fail on whether or not you're even going to receive your visa. You can go through the entire process, do all your paperwork, and you can go to the embassy, and then in 5 minutes, the person interviewing you about your visa can just decide yes or no on whether or not you're receiving your visa. And I mean, talking to the staff members in OGS, Office of Global Services, some of the, more fringe, not fringe, some of the more outside cases of what people have to deal with. I think, was it Afghanistan or Iran?
Iran.
Iranian students, no U.S. mail carrier would deliver mail to Iran. So if you're an Iranian student and you want to study at Northeastern, you have to go to a neighboring country to get all of your documents and all your information. It's very complicated, the process.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
We can all learn something from this.
Yeah.
So with your internship here at NewTV, how did this, internship enable you to complete this project? I mean, what did you guys learn here?
I mean, I personally learned a lot because I came in with knowing not a lot, I feel like, because I'm still learning,
Mm-hmm.
but...
I think we all are.
Yeah. But, so I definitely learned a lot of practical stuff and technical, but also more of how to deal with a lot of things. I didn't know how to put together a documentary before coming here, and so that definitely helped.
I already had a good amount of the technical knowledge coming in, but working on the projects that I've been able to here and having the real dedicated time to practice it and do more of it, it's really enabled me to, I feel now that I'm a lot more able to piece together stories and put together cohesive pieces, as opposed to just sort of throwing something together that's oh, look at this thing, and now it's more here's a person, here's their story, here's their it feels I've definitely gotten better in ways that I did not expect in my time working here at NewTV.
So with these newly found skills or enhanced skills, what's next for you guys? You're going to continue on in video production? I know you're going back to class after the break, but what's next?
I mean, that's a great question. I don't know. I mean, it's all very still new, I would say, to me, so I'm still trying to figure that out. That's why I'm going to take a whole year of classes and trying to just focus on what I want to do next. I definitely think I might want to continue. It definitely interests me. So, but I also might want to do something else. I don't know. I'm not sure yet. So I'm gonna try and figure it out.
You certainly don't have to decide right now.
Yeah, it's definitely not. Yeah.
How about for you, Bryce?
I'm a media and screen studies major. That's the closest thing Northeastern has to sort of this type of work. And I'm a film production minor, so it's definitely a field that I'm hoping to go into. Next co-op, I'm hoping to either co-op at the Globe or probably somewhere in New York or Los Angeles. I'm not really sure, but it's definitely NewTV. Working here has definitely given me a lot more confidence in my ability to work in the field moving forward. So I'm excited.
Good. Well, congratulations on this fantastic documentary that I'm sure most people will be excited to see. And once they see it, you'll be amazed at how great it is. And good luck in the future. I hope to see your name somewhere out there, whether it's in lights or wherever it may be.
Thank you.
But good luck to you both.
Thanks.
So you can watch the International Dream on NewTV's education channel and online throughout the summer. So here, take a look at the trailer that they produced and get ready because it's coming to NewTV.
Growing up, you always see America as like a really cool place. It's like this place that's just full of adventure and life.
I was still young, like a young age to leave home completely alone. Like I had no one here.
There was parts where I didn't know if I was actually going to come here because given where I was born, Venezuela, I'm a Venezuelan citizen, that complicates things for my visa application process.
Me and my family refused to talk about America as something that's sure until I had my passport with the visa in it. My first semester here was pretty hard. So I would very often wonder oh, did I do the right thing? Maybe I should have just went to friends. That's where all my friends are and stuff.
Reverse culture shock is the moment of realization that you can't ever go home. You might get back to your native culture and realize people have changed, the times have changed, and that you need to do some new adjustments yourself.